Hello YouTubers! What we are going to do today is we are going to use the Cricut Explore Air 2 to make a rhinestone template. Lots of people have asked me to do this, and so we are finally going to do it. I'm a big fan of the scatters because if you mess up, nobody's going to know. If this rhinestone was meant to be up here or down there, you're never going to know. I'm a big fan of this, and they're single color. We're going to make a pumpkin today. But I like the single color scattered rhinestones for a great beginner project. If you mess up, it's going to be really hard to know. It's only one color, so it's only one template to cut. And they're a lot of bang for your buck. So let me go talk about the supplies that you need for the templates. Alright, so to make a rhinestone design, what you need is a template. And so this was a skull that I did. And this is a free Christmas tree that's up on the webpage. And this is a free decal. We're going to do this. This is the decal actually for this. We're going to do this video too. So this was made on my silhouette, but I'm going to do a video for the Cricut too. You use some decal material and you can make anything into a decal, including rhinestones. These are rhinestones. But you need a template. And so this is the old material. It's maybe a little hard to see in the light, but it's pink and it was called Sticky Flock. You probably won't even be able to find this anymore. Several years ago, it was kind of retired for newer material. So this is the types of material you'll find these days. The blue is called Magic Flock. You can find it at the Rhinestone World. And this red stuff is called Rocket. You find it pretty much anywhere else that sells rhinestone supplies. I know somebody's going to scream at me, but they're basically the same material. So wherever you want to shop, you can find it, get it. But they pretty much cut and weed the same way. But you need this, and you're going to brush all your rhinestones into it. You will also need, this is actually a trim paintbrush, and you're going to end up brushing all your rhinestones in. You can find these at Home Depot. I'll also leave you the link off Amazon, but it's a paintbrush. It's meant for painting trim in your house or painting like by the trim. Please don't go buy some ridiculously expensive thing. You don't need it. It's a trim paintbrush. And then I'm a big fan of the scoop from the Rhinestone World, so you can brush all your rhinestones back up, and then it's got a cork to go put them back in their container. Personally, I buy my rhinestones from either JSI Signs or the Rhinestone World. What they are is they are hot fix rhinestones, and what the hot fix means is that they've got glue on the back. They come in 3 different sizes, SS6, SS10, which is the most common size, and SS16. 16s are the big ones. They come bigger, but if you look really, really close, you can see they've got glue on the back, and that's what the hot fix what the hot fix means is the glue. Be careful when you just go for kind of looking or just generally buying rhinestones, because you'll come across a lot that are used for like fingernails and stuff. These are the SS10s, and this is the most common size you're going to see. And they're sold by the gross, which I think is like 1,400 stones or something. But don't buy the ones that are used for fingernails, because what happens, they don't have glue on them, so they're not going to stick to your shirt. And then these things are little SS6s. Quite frankly, I don't like them. I think they're the devil. They're so little. But anywho, I have them. So we're making a pumpkin today, so I have some orange ones. And then this is your hot fix tape. And basically it's just, it works a lot like a transfer tape does for adhesive vinyl, but basically it can get hot because obviously you're not heating up your you're not heating up adhesive tape, but it can get hot, and it basically works just like tape, so we can pick up your rhinestones. So I'm gonna go show you how we can upload and cut your, oh, you need a shirt too. And we're going to show you how to cut, and I'm going to show you how to upload your design into Design Space, resize it correctly, and then cut it on the Cricut. Alright, so I'm in Cricut Design Space. We're going to go to Upload, and then I'm just going to upload my SVG rhinestone file. We're going to make this pumpkin today. a little scatter pumpkin. Depending on whatever Cricut has decided to do with this webpage and the updates, it is going to come in probably too big. And that's what this little guy means over here, is that it's too big. Now, to be a template, it has to be the right size. So, in each one of my designs, you're going to get this page, and it tells you how many rhinestones and how many rhinestones and what size. I really like to try to use SS10 just because they're as the most common size. And then technically orange, but you can make your pumpkin whatever color you want to. And the face is vinyl. So I cut this out of HTV, and then we're going to make the template. But down here it tells you how big the design is. So we're going to go back. He's 9.9 inches tall. So while he's still selected, we're going to go 9.9. And then I unlock it, and then he's 9 inches wide. So I don't think it matters, but just in case. And then there's our little pumpkin. So on my more recent designs, because to allow Cricut users to use these designs easier, I've welded the little circles together. In some of the older designs on my webpage, they'll try to load every single circle, and you might get a warning that it's too big or that it's going to take a long time to upload. If it is, just let me know. Shoot me an email and say, can you please send me a welded version? And I will. They will upload eventually, but they do take a while and they are a pain. So I've tried to weld them together to make them easier. And that's pretty much it. This guy, you do not need a mirror. You're just going to cut him as is. This little face in here, you're going to want to cut out in some kind of HTV, either glitter or just regular iron-on smooth HTV, because you want to, we're going to put him on first, but it's going to be anything you want, but you would mirror him like you would regular HTV. So we are going to make it trail size 12 by 12. We are not going to mirror. We are going to continue. We are going to think about life. There we go. We have set it to the bonded fabric setting, and we have our regular blade and tool B, and we're going to go cut out some template material and put it on our mat and load it up and press go. Alright, so here's the mat. It's the light grip mat because that's what came with the machine, and I don't actually use the machine that often. And you're just roughly going to cut about a 10-inch piece for it. This material is roughly about 12 inches. So, and the pumpkin's roughly about 10 inches by 10 inches. So, and then it peels off. So it's on a backing. Which will take me forever to peel off because the camera's on. But it's on a backing. So it's sticky, and then you got a backing. So you're going to want to leave all of that on here. Ready to load it in. Alrighty, so we are going to line up and load. And then we're going to push our little Cricut light up button. Now, fair warning, the beeping drives me crazy, but this is going to take a minute depending on how many rhinestones you do have. So, be prepared. So when you pull it out, and most of it's going to look like you haven't done anything. I double checked over here. So don't panic. Alright, so don't panic because it doesn't look like it's done anything. But what you're going to do is you're going to peel it off. This only happens when I'm got the camera rolling. There we go. You're just going to peel it off. And it should leave... Now, I'm a silhouette girl for the most part, but the Cricut does this much better than the Silhouette. Don't tell me Silhouette's that. Alright. Now you could cut that off and save that little bit if you wanted to. Now we did actually get a couple. See, these didn't want to come in. Now, you can put them on a non-really smooth surface and they'll stick to it. This works really well. So this is a painted wood table that I have, and it works really well for these rhinestone templates. So does the self-pulling cutting mats that they use for fabric. But that's all there is to that. What I do is I take this scraper and I just scrape all these dots off into the garbage can, and then you can store your template on this. So you can reuse it and you can make matching pumpkin shirts for everybody. Alright, so when I started to scrape, it's cut a little too much of this material for us to normally what I do is I scrape it off and I store my templates on this material, but you can store them on the back of the hotfix tape, which I think is what I'm going to do for this guy, because I'm not going to be able to scrape all of these. Also, this guy took roughly, I'd say, about half an hour to cut. He's like 600 and, I don't know, 600 and something rhinestones. The templates are completely reusable for as many times, I mean, for quite a number of times. But they are a bit time consuming to make, so do keep that in mind. But, and the thing is, if you legitimately want to cut like a million different rhinestone template designs, you probably need to get one of the bigger GGC Roland cutter cutters. These are just little craft machines, so they're not meant to cut out these guys, because the Rolands are going to be able to cut these out in like 10 minutes, where it's going to take any one of the craft machines 30 minutes or so. So what I've done now is I put him on my my wood table, so it's not super sticky and super smooth. They tend to tear if you put him on something really slick, like a countertop or something. So do keep that in mind. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your rhinestones and just dump a bunch on here. And then by magical powers that I don't know, you kind of want to go at like a 45-degree angle, but they just kind of all magically fall in there. So what you're going to do now is you're going to brush all your rhinestones, clean them up before you pick them up, or else you're going to have a mess on your hands. Alright, so I like this scoop. It's got a cork in the bottom, so you can just dump them back in your container. Now, you want to double check your template for any double stacked rhinestones, or like this little guy. He's out of place. He's not actually in a hole. But, and that's what I said, what I like about these scatters is you never would have known. So, double check, double stacked, or any that are not actually in a spot. Alright, so this is the only scary part of honestly making a rhinestone template, is you got to pick them up with your tape now. So we're going to take some of our hotfix tape and cut it roughly the same size of your design. Now, so make sure it's the same size as your design. Also make sure all your rhinestones are cleaned up, because if they're not, you're going to get them stuck to the tape. I like to use, you can reuse this tape more than once. I normally like to use it twice before it kind of makes me a little nervous to use it. Now, you can't flinch. You have to do this in one motion, because if you try to like start and stop, you're going to pick up part of your rhinestones and leave part of the rhinestones, and then you're going to have a mess on your hands. So, kind of like a U shape, and just go. Now, if you flinch and or screw up, Another thing that's really nice about the one colors is that you can just scrape them all off and do it again. So if you mess up, don't panic. Just go, this guy's really good for it. You just scrape them all off and pour them and do it again. It sucks, but you haven't wasted any rhinestones. Alright, so what I like to do is, once you get it all up, is you peel it up. And then if anybody doesn't want to come, just roll it back down and pick them up with your finger. And then you can stick it on the same sheet that you use for hot fix tape. And there we go. We're going over to the heat press. It's set at 335 for 15 seconds. We're bringing our little face to and our t-shirt. Alright, so we're over at the heat press. We have it set for 335 at 15 seconds. I'm going to pre-press to get out any lumps or bumps or wrinkles. I do have a pressing pillow because my shirt's got some seams on it. Now, this one's a little different because really, it's got this little vinyl, the HTV face we've got to account for. The HTV has to be pressed first because with the raises of the rhinestones, it won't get enough heat or pressure. So, I'm just going to kind of wing it. Now, you totally could be a lot more precise than I am, but it's just a shirt for me, so we're just going to wing it. So I kind of want my face here. So we are going to heat press our face for probably 10 seconds or so. Peel him off. And then with this guy, all we're going to do is we're just going to peel him off. Flip him over. We lost a rhinestone. Kind of place it in the right spot. Then we're going to press him for 15 seconds. We can peel this guy hot. Now, if anybody doesn't stick to the page or stick to your t-shirt, all you do is you put this right back down and heat press it for another couple minutes. Heat press it for a couple more seconds, not minutes. Alright, so we actually lost a rhinestone. I don't know if you can actually tell that, but we did. And it's actually kind of in a noticeable spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put one back in the place with my tweezers. A good pair of tweezers is pretty important with rhinestones because you will, I don't even know what happened to him. Tweezers are good because you will mess up. And it's just kind of part of the gig with rhinestones. Alrighty, let's try this again. Alright, so we tweezered him, stuck him back into place. You're going to want to take your Teflon sheet now and cover it up and then press it for another, I don't know, 10 seconds or so. You definitely need the Teflon on this or else you'll have the imprint of your rhinestones on your heat press. So, there we go. Now, right away, you're going to want to pull your shirt apart because the rhinestone glue is so strong that it'll come through your shirt. And if you let it cool, you'll have stuck your front of your shirt to the back of your shirt. Also, if you have like a really thin shirt or like a burnout shirt, you might even want to consider putting like parchment between them because the rhinestone glue is pretty strong. And I know I've heard of cases where it'll show on the back of the shirt. Alright, so this is our hot fix tape. I like to use it twice. Any more than that, I get nervous because if it doesn't pick up or sort of picks up the rhinestones, it's such a pain in the butt. On the back of this, I'm going to store my rhinestone template. Picks right off my table. Sticks everything else. And then I can store it on the back of this. So, when somebody else likes my shirt so much they want one of their own, I can make one with no problem. I just peel this back off, put it back down, and pour my rhinestones, and you're good to go. So there is our finished shirt. If you have any questions, let me know. Any other Cricut videos you would like to see. We are going to do the tumbler cup at some point. But it's really not that hard to do, and you can totally do it on a Cricut in Design Space. If you have any questions, let me know, and if you do want to see anything else, let me know.